New York State has 74 library systems. They serve as the backbone of our state's educational infrastructure, working together to bring the world's information to the local level. Library systems provide us with collaborative approaches that save local libraries, taxpayers, and patrons money. There are public, school, and regional library systems. In other words, library systems are cost-effective delivery systems that are large enough to permit economies of scale in purchasing materials, services, and connectivity that smaller individual libraries could never do on their own. Cuts in library aid fall heaviest upon our library systems. The state is responsible for whenever books or information travel across local boundaries. Libraries are part of the solution for those in search of digital connections and for those developing skills required by today's competitive marketplace. However, unless strategic investments in New York State library systems are broadened and secured, libraries will not be able to continue to provide the innovative and critical services their communities so desperately need. Library systems are the intellectual lubrication that keeps New York's economic engine moving in the right direction. 81% of library funding comes from local municipalities. Only 9% comes from New York State. The 9%, which funds New York's information infrastructure, has hardly kept pace with demand for system services. From 1998 to 2006, libraries and library systems received no state funding increases, while other educational institutions received generous attention. When state revenues started to disappear, libraries were the first to receive cuts. Library aid has been cut 6 times in the last 3 years, from $102 million in 2008 to $79 million in the last fiscal year. Community demand for libraries is up across the state, and so is the demand for library system services. From 2007 to 2010, visits to libraries in New York State increased by 5 million, while circulation of materials increased from 147 to 165 million items, and yet our funding has decreased significantly. 38% of Americans still do not have internet access at home. Nearly 73% of libraries are their community's only source of free computer and internet access. And in rural areas, that number rises to 82%. Libraries also play an essential role in helping job seekers bridge the digital divide. 75% of all job listings are now online, and at least 60% of prospective employers only accept online job applications. If it weren't for New York libraries, over 300,000 unemployed people would have no other option. In our fast-paced, hurried lives, libraries also help us make sense of our tech-driven digital world. There are currently over 10 million library card holders in New York State. That is approximately 75% of New York households. No other state funding institution serves so many people with so little state funding. Library systems will not survive on love alone. Without adequate funding and support, the stability of our local communities will remain in jeopardy. Public libraries, school libraries, academic libraries, and specialty libraries make it possible for all citizens to continue lifelong learning by just walking through our doors. However, under current funding trends, libraries and our library systems are having a difficult time keeping pace with demand for programs, products, and services. Not fully funding library systems is extremely counterproductive. The library community has long been a champion and role model for regional and statewide cooperation, resource sharing, and providing educational services in a cost-effective and efficient manner. Give library systems the financial resources necessary to continue to deliver the high quality of services New Yorkers have come to know, love, and respect. Library advocates are asking for library aid to be restored to 2008 levels when funding was at $102 million. Let's be clear, in the overall scheme of things, library funding represents less than 0.1% of the entire state budget. We can do better. Libraries and library systems are part of the solution. Library advocates need you to become a library champion. Together, we can build a better New York.